Liam Lawson heads to Qatar this weekend for the biggest race in his Formula One career. His future depends on it. Alpha Tauri has confirmed that they would field Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda at this weekend's Qatar Grand Prix at the Lusail circuit, with Daniel Ricciardo's comeback delayed for the moment. The Australian's comeback had been speculative for Qatar, with good progress on his recovery. However, his team has decided against rushing him back to the cockpit unnecessarily, giving Liam Lawson the nod. Would the Qatar Grand Prix be the last race we see Liam Lawson in F1? And what does that mean for his future? Today, the Grid Report brings you exclusive news on Liam's career at Red Bull and Alpha Tauri's plan for the future. Before going ahead, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. And without ado, let's dive in. The 2023 Formula One season has been full of surprises. The most spectacular performances, of course, came from the Red Bull team, but its junior team, Alpha Tauri, has also improved a lot in the last couple of races. They've been in the headlines recently, and that's all thanks to the incredible performances of reserve driver Liam Lawson. Liam came into the spotlight after Daniel Ricciardo was sidelined due to a metacarpal fracture he picked up by hitting the wall at Zandvoort, while trying to avoid the crashed McLaren of Oscar Piastri. The injury to Ricciardo happened to be a blessing in disguise because Lawson has not let the opportunity slip through his fingers. The Kiwi has not just been good, he's been the standout driver for Alpha Tauri, consistently outperforming his teammate, Yuki Tsunoda. Lawson's breathtaking performances has led to increasingly loud calls for him to be given a full seat with Alpha Tauri for 2024. Unfortunately for Lawson, Red Bull announced that Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo would retain their Alpha Tauri seats for the 2024 season. So what does that mean for Lawson in 2024? According to Red Bull boss Christian Horner, Liam Lawson is said to be back in the test and reserve role for the 2024 Formula One season. Nevertheless, he would be a prime candidate for the 2025 season. This news might come as a disappointment to Lawson's fans, who have been mesmerized by his recent displays. Well, Horner has made it clear that Lawson has impressed Red Bull greatly with his performances while standing in for the injured Ricciardo. Speaking to Sky Sports News, the Red Bull boss had this to say: "I think that he's done a great job. He's really impressed us. He's done exactly what we could have asked for in terms of grabbing the opportunity, and in Daniel's absence to really show his capability, and that's turned some heads." Christian Horner was full of praise and admiration when talking about the young driver. Horner also made Red Bull's plan for Lawson known, as they would keep on developing his abilities and harnessing his skills as he remains in the test and reserve role come next season. With Williams rumoured to be interested as Logan Sargent's struggles continue, the decision might be Lawson's to take. He would face a tough decision: to stay with the Red Bull family in the test and reserve role, or to opt for a full-time F1 opportunity with Williams. The Williams choice, if they do call, sounds like a good option, as Lawson would be full-time on the F1 grid with a guaranteed seat. However, that comes with its own disadvantage because the cars constructed by Williams are not as fast as the cars from Red Bull. The choice to stay at Red Bull as a reserve driver would mean that the Kiwi would be spending most of the season on the sidelines, awaiting his golden opportunity. It might seem like a bad choice, but with a little more patience, Lawson is set to have a career in Alpha Tauri, or even the senior Red Bull team. When asked about Liam Lawson's future and the interest from Williams, Christian Horner said it's only a matter of time before Lawson gets his full-time F1 opportunity at one of the Red Bull teams. Speaking of guaranteed seats in Red Bull and Alpha Tauri in the future, Horner had this to say: "There's no guarantee in anything in life." But then the seats for both teams have been announced. Is Horner trying to hint at something? Is Sergio Perez's seat in jeopardy? According to leading Formula One correspondent Lawrence Barretto, Daniel Ricciardo is the driver Red Bull has in mind should they need to replace Sergio Perez at the end of the 2024 F1 season, or even mid-season. Perez began the 2023 season in the most brilliant fashion, securing 2 Grand Prix wins in Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan. But his recent performance in both Singapore and Japan has raised alarm bells, as he's seen to be struggling seriously. After colliding with Alex Albon in Singapore, Perez then wiped out Kevin Magnussen on the following weekend at Suzuka, both of those incidents resulting in 5-second time penalties, while he picked up the same punishment for also overtaking behind the safety car as he entered the pits during the Japanese Grand Prix. Despite these latest wobbles, Perez's seat is thought to be safe for the start of next season, though if he does not rebound, then Ricciardo, who will soon be back on the grid, is primed to take Perez's spot, perhaps even before the season and Perez's contract is over. Sergio Perez is under pressure at Red Bull, having scored only a little over half the number of points his teammate, Max Verstappen, has mustered. The Mexican trailing by 177 points despite having what is comfortably the best car in the field. Sources suggest Ricciardo would be Red Bull's favoured driver to replace Perez, if required, either mid-season or at the end of 2024 campaign, Barretto wrote in a piece for the Formula One website. If Ricciardo were to get the nod to take Perez's seat, then that would be great news for Liam Lawson, who scored his first F1 points with a P9 in Singapore. The rumours that Lawson could replace struggling Logan Sargent at Williams has however been played down by Liam Lawson himself and Red Bull boss Christian Horner. Certainly Red Bull has Lawson in their driver plans for 2025, should there be no mid-F1 2024 movement on the Perez front. Alpha Tauri may be at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship, but since the introduction of Lawson and the substantial upgrade of its AT04 in Singapore, the team is now performing at a higher level than the teams immediately above it in the points table. With just 6 races left, the race is on to overtake the Alfa Romeo and Haas teams. Do you think Alpha Tauri has what it takes to overhaul these two teams? And would Liam Lawson's performance in the Qatar Grand Prix have a defined impact on his future? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Before we sign off, remember to show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel to stay up to date on the latest F1 news. Until next time, goodbye.